The secret technique for using a flash to add to the light of a window. In this video, I show you a secret technique to increase the brightness of a window's light when it's dark. When it's finished, it looks like this. Doesn't it look nice? We are in a setting in a dark room with a small window that lets in a little light. We try photographing without a flash and use the light from the window as sandbag lighting. The light from the window has made an edge light, but it's very dark all over. To make the subject brighter, we'll try making the light from the window bounce off the subject using a reflector board. The actual room is dark, so it's still very underlit. The ISO is already set at 2000, and the shutter speed is 1/50th, and the aperture is f2.8. We don't want to raise the ISO any higher to brighten the image because the image quality will deteriorate. We try using a flash to increase the subject brightness. The flash we are using now is the Godox 8200. First, we aim it directly at the subject. The ISO is high, the aperture is wide, so even if we lower the light intensity, the flash is too bright and the whole image is too bright. Next, we aim the flash directly at the reflector board. There's a soft light that hits the subject, and the subject is brighter, but it looks like we've deliberately aimed the flash and looks a bit unnatural. We want it to look like we've shot with natural light from the window. So we try bouncing the flash off the back wall to the left. And then we bounce that light off a reflector board and onto the subject. There's an edge light, and the subject is hit with a very soft light, and it looks really pretty. However, the window and the wall in the back are a bit washed out. We don't want to wash out the window. This time, we place a flash outside the window and try making the light from the window strong. The light will bounce off the white wall outside and will add to the light. The light from the window has become brighter. There's a pretty edge light hitting the subject, and the light hitting the subject makes them look very charming. The window set isn't washed out and is clearly seen. When the light from a window is dark, by creating the same kind of quality of light from a window, you can also create a very natural mood. Everyone, please give it a try. How to take cool photos with hard light. In this video, I'll show you how to take cool photos with hard light. stove is a Godox 8200 and the softbox is a Godox QRP70. First, I aim the stove directly on the subject from the left side. The softbox is attached, but the light is far away from the subject, so the light is a little hard. However, this alone gives the image a cool look. To make something interesting, I would like to put a large blackboard between the stove and the subject to create a shadow of the board. With a softbox, the light is diffuse and the shadows are not clear. Unfortunately, the image did not turn out as I had expected. Next, remove the softbox and aim the 8200 directly on the subject. The light is harder and clearer than before. It looks good. As before, I put a large blackboard between the subject and the light. The vertical shadow of the board comes out clearly, creating an image like the shadow of a building. Half of the face is in the shadow, creating a very cool image. This time, I will put a blackboard with a narrow hole between the subject and the light. The light leaks through the slit and hits the subject nicely. If you want to create hard shadows, you can do so by hitting the stove directly without using a softbox. This is very effective when you want to create a cool image. Please give it a try. How to take beautiful pictures of women against a white background with only two stoves. In this video, I will show you how to take beautiful pictures of women against a white background with only two stoves. The key to taking beautiful pictures against a white background is to hit a soft light on the subject and to light a white background so that it becomes a beautiful white color. First, have the subject stand in front of the white background. The stove is a Godox 8200. I will use only the first stove and bounce it off the wall to the left of the subject. Now let's take a shot. The lighting has a soft gradation, but the shadow part of the subject face is a little dark, and the background is a flat gray, which is a little unsatisfactory. To brighten the background and to add a hair light and edge light, I bounce the second stove high up on the back left wall. Then I place a reflector board in front of the left and reflect the light toward the subject face. With the hair light and edge light in place, a very nice gradation of light hits the subject, making it look very attractive. However, I'd like to brighten up the shadows a bit more, so I place a reflector in the front right as well. Now let's take a shot. The image is now very well balanced with a three-dimensional effect and a beautiful white background. This time, instead of bouncing the light off the wall, I want to see the difference when bouncing it off a reflector. First, I place a large reflector slightly in front of the subject, then hit the stove toward the reflector. To prevent the shadow of the subject face from becoming too dark, I also put the reflector in front of the subject on the right. Bouncing the light of a large reflector creates a soft light similar to using a softbox. It gave a nice soft light, but the light would be softer if it bounced off the wall. The background is a little dark, so I bounced another stove high up on the back left wall as before. The background is now brighter and looks better. Bouncing light off a reflector does soften it, but bouncing it off a wall makes the light even softer, which gives a gentle feel to the subject, especially for photographing women. If you want to bounce light off a wall but don't have a white wall available, using a large reflector like this works well instead. Please try it out depending on your situation. How to use a softbox to take a cool photo and how to create cool backlighting. In this video, I show you how to aim cool looking light using a softbox, and this time we use the flashed optical snoot to make cool backlighting. We are using the Godox 8200 flash and the Godox parabolic softbox. The room is quite dark, poured concrete studio. First, we aim the softbox directly at the front of the subject face. It really looks like we've deliberately aimed the flash, and it's washed out with no real charm. Next, we try aiming from the side. It looks nice and three-dimensional. There's also some contrast. You can get a cool shot with women too. I like this direction of light. Next, we try a bit of a semi-backlighting by aiming diagonally from the back. There's an edge light, but because the room is dark, the subject face has also become dark. When the walls are dark, the light won't spread around. Therefore, we place a large reflector board at the front on the right and bounce the flash of it toward the face. It looks cool. This light has the feel I was going for, but the background is still too dark. So to add a backlight, we'll attach the optical snoot accessory onto the flash. This is an excellent accessory that is like a spotlight, and you can change the size and shape of the light. First, we add a round backlight without changing anything. The light that's hitting the subject is the same as before. The background is a bit brighter, and this looks pretty good as it is. This time, we add a filter to the snoot with a long thin thread. The light will become a long thin line. It looks like sun rays are peeking through, and it makes for a very cool backlighting. We also have a blind curtain shaped filter, so let's try to use it. This looks good too. There are so many various filters, so you can use what you like. This time, we've used one with a shape on the background which looks like this. Very interesting, right? It's a flash, so you can easily change the brightness for the backlighting, and you can use this spotlight as the main lighting as well. Please give it a try, everyone! How to take beautiful photos with only one stroke. In this video, I show you how to take beautiful photos with only one stroke and without using a softbox. I will try various ways of applying the stroke. This time, I will use only one stroke, the Godox 8200. First, let's take a photo without using a stop, using only steady light. The exposure is underexposed, and the whole image looks muddy. The colors are muddy and do not look good. Next, I use the Godox 8200 and aim it directly at the person in front of the camera. Since it is a direct stop, the light is hard and the shadows are clear. This is not the kind of light that makes a woman look beautiful. This time, try bouncing the stove closer to the ceiling in the upper left. This image is based on actual light from the sky. The stove is close to the ceiling, so the light is a little hard. In this case, I want to soften the light because I want a fluffier image. So I move the stove slightly away from the ceiling and make it a ceiling bounce in the same way. The light from diagonally above is now a little softer. As the stove moves away from the bouncing object, the light becomes a little softer. Next, I want to create an image that looks like evening light, so I bounce it off the right wall to create side light. The dried flowers are in the way. The light was a little lower than I wanted, so it was a little upper light, but it had a nice three-dimensional effect. I want to change the direction of the light, so I try bouncing onto the left wall. This also looks good with short lighting and soft light from the side. However, the dried flowers in the foreground seems a little dark. Finally, I bounce the stove to the back left wall to make it seem backlit. Then I press the reflector board in front of the left to reflect the light onto the person. The light is soft and very beautiful. The light is all around. However, the shadow on the right is a little dark. So I will also place a reflector board in front of the right side and turn the light around. The shadows are now brighter and making them even more beautiful and attractive. You can take such beautiful photos with just one stroke. Try changing the way you apply the stroke to suit your purpose. I really like sim backlighting. Comparison of 4 different shots with one lighting. In this video, I show you the differences in images created by 4 types of lighting using just one shot. This time, I will use only one Godox 8200. First, let's take a picture using only natural light with a stove. This is a space with light coming from above, reflecting off the white walls and surrounded by soft light. The large soft light hits the face, and you can take very beautiful pictures even with only natural light. Next, place the Godox AD200 behind the subject and aim it toward the subject head. The stove is also facing the camera, so it is backlit. The height of the stove should be about the same as the height of the subject head. The backlight creates line light on the hair, making the person stand out. In addition, the stove light reflects off the white wall and wraps around the subject face, making it look beautiful. Next, bounce the slope off the back wall. By hitting the back wall with a strong stop, the detail in the background disappears and the light hitting the background also goes around, creating a soft Hicky image with a pure white background. This is recommended when you want to take a fluffy image. Next, I will point the stop at the camera again and try to hit it with a bit of backlight. At that time, take the photo at an angle so that the stove light is slightly visible. It has the same atmosphere as the previous backlighting, but the direct light leaks out, creating an interesting and impactful image. This is the lighting you want to use when you want to take a cool photo of your subject. Finally, have the subject stand in front of the back wall and bounce the slope of the wall to the right of the back. The stove light becomes a soft side light, creating a dramatic image. It has a great atmosphere. In a space such as white walls, you can create various images depending on how you apply it. Interesting, don't you think? Please give it a try. The size of the softbox and the way it is applied can make all the difference. When using a softbox, the size and distance from the subject can completely change the way it looks. In this video, I will show you the difference. First, use a large softbox. This is a shallow bank L size from manufacturer called Kimira. It is 180 centimeters long. It is big. Bring this closer to the subject. It's about 50 centimeters. The light is beautiful with very soft gradation lighting. Since the softbox is close to the subject and the background are also about 3 meters apart, the background will be dark. Next, use a smaller softbox. This is a Comet Speedbox 70, a circular softbox with a diameter of 70 centimeters. This also brings it close to the subject at about the same distance. Again, the light will be very soft, but with a smaller softbox, the contrast will be a little stronger and the shadows will be darker than with a large one. The body will also be darker than before because it is applied on the face. The background will also be darker than before. Next, let's move the small softbox away from the subject. It's about 2 meters away. The light becomes hard and not gradation lighting. It becomes flat and not very beautiful. If we move the light away from the subject, the background will be lighter than before. Finally, use this small softbox from behind to create a semi-backlit effect. Then place a large reflector in front of the subject and reflect the stop light onto the subject. The hair light and accent light are included to make the subject stand out. In addition, the light from a large reflector is very soft, giving the subject a soft image. The size of the softbox and the way it is applied can make such a difference. I like photos with a large softbox close to the subject and semi-backlit photos. What about you all? How to take high quality photos with backlighting coming in through a window. In this video, I will show you how to take photos one level higher than normal when taking photos with backlit natural light coming in through a large window. This time, we are taking photos of the bride. The key is to make the dress look beautiful. Arrange the train of the dress to make it look beautiful. Soft natural light is coming in through the large window. Let's start shooting. First, take a photo with normal exposure as it is. Since the subject is backlit, if you shoot without exposure compensation, the subject will be underexposed. Next time, I will try shooting about 2 stops over. The subject becomes brighter and looks more beautiful. This is pretty enough, but to take it to the next level, I will try using a single stop light from outside the window. This is a semi-backlit light coming from behind the subject on the left as seen from the camera. By adding this light, you will get a sharp light. Let's take a shot. It's a slight difference, but this headlight gives a sense of depth and makes the subject stand out and making her more attractive. This is not a photo that just anyone can take, but using a stop will take it to a higher level. You can also take a wide variety of photos by shooting while moving like this. Please give it a try. Create super beautiful light by bouncing 3 strobe lights on the wall. In this video, I'll show you how to create super beautiful light using 3 strobe lights. All strobe I use are Godox 8200 with wall bounce. First, let's bounce the strobe on the wall to the left of the person. Adjust the height of the strobe to match the height of the person's face. I tried taking pictures with just this one light. Even just one light gives a very soft light, so you can shoot with a soft atmosphere. Next, let's bounce the strobe off the high wall in the back left. I'll turn off the previous strobe and take a picture with just this one strobe on the back left. The face has become a little darker, but the hair light and edge light are beautiful accent. However, the whole room is white, so the light is turning around the entire room. Next, I place a large white reflector board in front of the left and bounce the strobe a little lower on it. Turn off the strobe in the back left. I tried shooting with just this one strobe. The light is soft from the front, so there is no three-dimensional effect and it feels flat. The light is coming from a slightly lower angle, so it looks a little upper light. Finally, let's try shooting with all 3 lights on: back left, left side, and front left. The light surface is maximized and the light is very soft. The light from the back left becomes a beautiful hair light and edge light, and the light from the front brightens the face. The result is a super beautiful light that gives a three-dimensional effect and makes people look attractive. Even with all bounce lighting, the light is so beautiful. Everyone, please give it a try. Create a beautiful light with LED light. In this video, I will show you how to create a beautiful light using a circular LED light. The LED light I'll be using this time is a 4x50 cm disc light. First, try shooting directly at the subject. The distance between the subject and the light is about 1 meter 20 centimeters. Since the light is LED, it is a steady light unlike a strobe, so it's easy to take pictures you see it. Now let's try shooting. The light is smaller than a softbox at 50 centimeters, and it is a little further away, so the light will be hard. The shadows on the brick wall are very clear, so it's easy to tell that the light is hard. Now I use a large diffuser to soften the light. This diffuser panel is 1 meter by 2 meters in size. The LED light is shined from behind the diffuser to increase area of light. Let's take a picture. Shining light through the diffuser creates a soft light. The shadows on the brick wall have also become softer. However, it would have been better to move the light a little further away from the diffuser to make the light softer. Next, aim an LED light at the subject from the back left and giving it a semi-backlit feel. Prepare a large reflector and bounce the light onto the subject. Now let's take a shot. The hairlight was beautiful and the light bouncing off the reflector was soft and very nice, but the background became too bright. Finally, try adjusting the angle of the LED light and moving it slightly to the opposite side of the subject to reduce the amount of light hitting the wall. The background is now darker than before and making it easier to focus on the subject. The hair light also works beautifully and the soft light shines on the subject, making it look very beautiful. Since LED lights are not very large, you can change the light quality by using a diffuser panel like this or bouncing the light off a large reflector board. Everyone, please give it a try. Taking beautiful and cool wedding photos. In this video, I will show you how to take beautiful and cool wedding photos against a white background. First, have the groom and bride stand side by side in front of a white background. The train of the bride dress makes it look beautiful. If this is not beautiful, it will affect the photo. First, I will take a photo with only ambient light without using a stove. The overall image looks very muddy and doesn't look beautiful. Next, use a stove. This time, I will use a Comet Twinkle monoblock stove with a large 180 cm softbox called Kimira Shallow Bank L. Try applying it from the front right side. The distance from the subject is about 5 meters. Since the light and the subject are far apart, the light is a little bit hard. The light is coming from the front, so it looks flat and even makes the glasses shine. It is not a beautiful light. it indeed looks like I am using a stove. So I will hit this big softbox from the right side. The distance from the subject is about 2 meters. Now, let's take a shot. Because it's a large softbox, the light is softer and the contrast is a little stronger. It looks pretty and cool. The result is a photo that focuses on the subject with less dark surroundings. I like the light very much. I want to take photos with softer light, so this time I bounce the Godox 8200 stove against the white wall on the right. I use 2 stoves because I want to make the light bigger and softer. Now let's take a picture. The light is soft and very beautiful, but the light hits the whole area and makes it brighter. This is okay, but personally I think it is better to use a large softbox directly. I think it looks more attractive. If you want to make the overall light brighter and softer, bounce the stove off a white wall. Consider the light quality and direction of the light and try taking your own bridal photos. Please give it a try. How to take beautiful pictures with a clip-on stove. Even with a clip-on stove, you can take attractive pictures of women depending on how you apply the stove. In this video, I will show you the different ways to apply a clip-on stove. The clip-on stove used is Godox V1. The camera will be a Sony Alpha 1 with a 24 to 70mm f2.8 lens. First, let's take a picture using only natural light from the window without using the clip-on stove. The environment is backlit from a large window in the background and from the window on the right. Because of the strong backlight from the background, the subject is a little darker. The light is as it is, so it is natural. But it does not look very beautiful. Next, try shining a clip-on stove directly on the subject. Now let's take a picture. The light is hard coming from the front of the camera, so it looks flat. It feels like it really shined a light on the subject. Next, let's take a shot by bouncing a clip-on stove off the white wall on the left side. Since the wall on the left side and the stove are about 3 meters apart, the area where the stove hits the wall is larger. The subject is illuminated by a large soft light from the side. It has a beautiful gradation from highlight to shadow, making it a very attractive image. I really like this light. Now, let's try shooting with the clip-on stop pointing upward in the ceiling bounce. The ceiling bounce gives a soft light from above. It's not bad, but since the light is coming from above, I'm concerned that the lower part of the face is a little darker. The ceiling bounce gives the impression of a snapshot. This time, let's try bouncing the light toward the white curtain on the right side. The light is coming from the same side as before, but this time the stove and the white curtain are less than 1 meter apart, so the light is a little harder than before. The contrast is also stronger and the shadows are darker. I prefer a softer light. Finally, I bounce the clip-on slope off the white wall behind the camera. Let's take the picture. The distance between the wall and the stove is about 1.5 meters, giving a soft light from the front. The image is as if a large softbox was applied to the subject from the front. The subject also appears clearly in the picture, so I think this light is suitable for women with heavy makeup. Personally, I like soft gradation lighting from the side by bouncing the light off the left wall. From the highest light to the shadows are expressed beautifully, and the three-dimensional effect looks beautiful and attractive. Even with a clip-on stop, you can create a different image just by applying the flash differently. Isn't this interesting? Please give it a try.